What is up, buds? Welcome to Weed&d, the pot-positive live tabletop role-playing experience. I am your dungeon master for the night, Brandon Allen McClenahan, and this here is my new piece. It's like a silicone, and it doesn't break, and it's green and black, and there's a little bee on it, and it looks like there's honeycomb on it. But I don't have a name for it yet, so buds, help me name this pipe, this bong. It's green, it's black, glows in the dark. There's a bee on it. Man, that's really all the information that I have for it. But yeah, drop it if you're in Twitch. Drop some ideas. Give me a name in chat. I'll pick one. We'll call you guys out next week for helping me name this new little beauty here. Thank you guys so much for joining us each and every week. It is such a pleasure to do this. Honestly, we have so much fun. It's stupid, and man, it's getting a production, a weekly production together is a lot harder than it may look, but it is absolutely worth it each and every week. So my favorite thing to do right now is the thing I'm doing, and that is a blessing in its own right. So thank you so much for joining us while we, give a little high fantasy. All right, guys, we've got some pretty cool stuff. Make sure you're following us on the socials. We're doing, especially Instagram at Art Hard Studios. We'll be doing our first little giveaway here of interest for our D&D players. Some pretty cool little thing there. Definitely follow us over on Instagram at Art Hard Studios. Another cool thing we've kind of got going on right now on the Discord server, which will be dropped in the chat, or you can find it in the doobly-doo if you're on YouTube. We'll be doing a one-shot. I'll be pulling 5 players at random from our Discord server and then setting up a one-shot. We'll probably record it because, that's what we do around here. But, yeah, man, we'll play the game, and it'll be a cool opportunity to kind of play with some of the buds. So I'm really looking forward to it. You do have to be a member of the Discord to be pulled for that. So definitely make your way over there and join if you have not already. It's great. The buds hang out all the time. We play games, and it's honestly like one of my favorite things in the world. I didn't use Discord much now, and I am always on it. So feel free, come hang out with us. I'm really looking forward to it. And next week will be the last week that we're doing the drawing for the Create a Theme giveaway. I know it's a little confusing, so just to explain, whoever is pulled, and every entry you can enter once a week. All your entries, in consecutive weeks count. But whoever gets drawn will get to pick a theme to be made for the show. So if you have a specific character that you like, if you want, there's been a few thrown out, kindly. Some people want one for the two-tailed magical cat with galaxy eyes. Some said a theme for me, which I thought was a little weird, but sure, you could do that. If you win, it's your party. So your choice, your theme will be made by Sandy Stein, our brilliant, absolutely wonderful music composer. And we're going to do a little thing, a little video showing you how Sandy goes through his process and how he generates all this incredible music for the show. So that'll be, just as an artist, it'll be this fantastic little insight into one of the most brilliant artists that works on this show, Sandy Stein's process in making a new track. And hopefully it's a track that you get to pick. So pretty cool. I'm excited. I'm sick of my own voice already, and we've just started doing this. So I'm going to bring in my favorite voices, my absolute favorite people in the entire world, my 5 very good friends, professional entertainers from on and around the Las Vegas Strip, the Ferocious Five themselves. Brenna, I'm going to send this to you by taking this little joint here and passing it through the magic threads of the internet. You ready?
All right, bam, hell, motherfucker, yeah. You were introducing your new awesome pipe. I can't wait to see what other names pop up. They've been so great so far. But this one's mine. This is Chibi Usa. Hey, little Chibi Usa. It's my little happy little pipe. You just put it in there, and it's just a good one. And I'm so excited to smoke with you buds today. Oh my goodness, it's the most wonderful time of the year. The time that I get to pass this to Abby. Ooh, I thank you so much. And a very special hello to Chibi Uso. Oh my goodness, hello. Well, I'm Abby Dandy, aka Tennis Smooth Hands around these parts. And this lovely little lady, well, she doesn't have a name. She's my trusty, dusty little vaporizer. She's slender, she's long, and she's a horse with no name. And I'm passing it on to Drew. What do you got for me, Drew?
Thanks, baby girl. What up, guys? Drew, Thorcus the Dwarf. I'm rocking an old school pipe I've had forever, but I have named her Legiana from the, those of you who play Monster Hunter. She's a She's a cold bitch, but she gets the job done. So, anyway, yeah. Well, let's see what's going on with Grape Ape over here, and we'll have some fun. Thanks for being here as always. We fucking love you guys. And best friend, I'm gonna pass this on over to you.
Ooh, 10-4, best friend.
Whoa.
Thank you so much. Oh, thanks so much for being here, everybody. Sorry, am I frozen? What's going on here? You
back.
never know with me. I am back. I'm Jake Taylor, back again as Real Authorvon, frozen or not. And I love this Meet the Peace Sesh. This is my oldest. It's just a little tiny bong with the Mortal Kombat logo. So I named him Smoke, after the gray Lin Kuei ninja turned robot. Of course. But it's not about MK lore, it's about WeeDnD lore tonight. And I can't wait to play some more with my best friends and you buds. So I will hand this bong to Gus and see what he has in store.
Whoa, many thanks, Jake. Fuck yeah, Mortal Kombat pipe. Yo, what's up? I am Gus, 2 Blunts Langley. I will be playing Divot. These are my blunts, Dr. Johnny Hopkins and Sloan Kettering. We will be blazing that shit up all night. I'd like to pass things back to my man, Bam.
Coming, that freaking song, dude. All right. I don't want to get trademarked, but just later on, put it on and dance around your living room. It's always a good time. Well, thanks to my wonderful peeps for passing me this guy back. We do have a little ritual we like to do around here. Maybe you've heard about it, maybe you haven't, but we like to take this bad boy here, take a lighter, like this little pink number I got here. I like my little pink guy. And make sure you're not going to light anything on or around you on fire, and go. Lighters up. This place fucking D&D, guys.
WeeDnD, high fantasy, literally for you and me. So load up bowl and make a roll to take control. WeeDnD.
Oh my goodness, that theme, it gets me every single time. Oh, all right, guys. If you will please allow me to set the mood. I do it every week and it's silly. When last we left the Ferocious Five, they stood before the raging Grape Ape of the Jester, having answered the call of the strange artifacts held within the coffins that rested near the shattered statue of Sithis the Corrupted. And overcoming their own hesitations, each member of the five, save Real, seized the powerful objects from the time-withered skeletons. It was then that a strange green fire breathed life into the fallen corpses once more, raising them to regain their relics, and after an intense round of battle, the five chose to appease the spirits, returning them the items, allowing the angered souls to rest. Thoricus, who had proven himself admirably in battle, was granted the magical vial of Quicksilver by his adversary in respect of his exceptional battle prowess. When at last, Divot, the lightning dodger, attempted to return the Jester cap to the raging purple gorilla, a spectral hand snatched it from the air and disappeared into the depths below.
Well, what the fuck?
All right, guys. I'm sorry, I made myself laugh. We are jumping back in. When last we left, you guys, you saw the gray spectral hand as you heard the echoing laughter of the strange hag creature that has kind of tortured your minds over the past several hours. You see the spectral gray magical hand snatch the Jester's cap out of the air. You hear the jangles of the bells as it shakes and then is withdrawn and disappears, turning into a mist beneath the floor of the pillar in the south side of the room. Currently, however, Divot, Tina, Real, you all stand mere feet away from this giant purple gorilla, a grape ape, if you will. And he lets out, as seeing the cap disappear, he lets out this massive guttural screaming roar. so loud, you hear it resonate within the empty chambers in your chest, almost knocking the wind out of you in sheer intensity. The golden dust on the floor kind of shifts at just the sheer pulse of the strength of this creature, the echoing boom of its rage. Real, you're still kind of hooked. You know, you've got the throat fucker clipped into the corpse of the roper, kind of hanging off on your cape and shooting arrows in this thing's eyes. Eyes which now turn and look at you. You still see the one arrow that you shot stuck in its right eye, pus and blood coming out of the socket. As it looks at you, you see its eyes just flashing with white-hot rage. As it sees the Jester cap disappear into smoke and disappear below the ground, you see that green fire that was kind of coating its body just start burning in an intense, hot, green, fiery heat. And you watch as the gorilla just turns and smashes the nearby grave of the Blade Master, only recently re-put back together, you know, after having been destroyed initially. You see it swing and bash the corpse inside the withered frame, the two-sided sword spill to the side, and you see the green fire that was trapped within the body start glowing. It sucks and is absorbed by the giant gorilla. You see it grow another size, growing from a 12-foot tall gorilla into nearly 20 feet tall. You watch as its entire frame just grows, and you're looking at the most massive creature you have ever seen in your life. What do you do? We are in initiative. We're keeping the initiative that we had last time. Real Othervon, you are at the top of that initiative.
Ah, well, fantastic. So, given all that information, I don't know much about Furious George over here, other than he reminds me of Divot's Six-Eyed Bear, but way less chill. Way less fucking chill.
Wait, let's chill.
No doubt, no doubt.
No, well, true.
It's true. His chill stat is pretty low.
True statement.
Down here, rolled low on chill. And, you know, I already got one eye. Let's go for the left eye.
Okay.
All right, pony up tough. Ooh, nice. Sweet attack too. Now, Real, there is somebody within 5 feet of him, so you get your sneak attack. He's currently engaged in combat with our boy David here. You do notice again, just I know I kind of went graced over it, but in his growth and size, his arms themselves are nearly 10 feet long now. So you would imagine that his range of those swings is pretty high as well. So his threat radius is a little higher than most of the creatures you've dealt with.
Don't like that. Is he like this, though?
Ooh, nice. 23 AC, that's definitely a hit. And then your sneak attack damage, rolling hot, buddy. 19 plus the 7 damage, 26 damage. Real, sorry, my tracker here. There we go. Fantastic shot. You aim true to the to his left eye. You know, whereas he was kind of right at the same level as you. Now that he grows, you just kind of keep moving your hand up and waiting for him to stop growing, and then as soon as he does, you know, you let the arrow go. You hear it cutting through the air, and you hear the sick piercing of the sound as it actually cuts through his eyelid. You hear like a small popping sound, like a pressure being released as a little clear fluid kind of starts tearing down his face. But yeah, that's a great damage. 26 damage. Very nice.
Is the eyelid pinned shut now? Does he look like a big doofus?
Yeah, like you'll see, like you got him right in the bottom corner, so like it's still trying to open, but you see the eyelid being torn by the arrow as he keeps trying to open it, bringing him only more pain and anger. I just wanted to do that.
See that guy? What a doofus.
Nice, 26 damage, Real, very good.
Nice. All right, I'll take it. And so what's his range for me? Do I need to disengage before I do some movement?
You would want to disengage. You are, I mean, like even though you're 10 feet up, it's his, you know, he's still, it's right, he can reach you with just his arms right now.
Exactly, yeah. I don't like that. So I'll definitely disengage, and I'll unhook the throat fucker and start making my way south on the map away from the roper. So that's what, a good 20 feet once I'm down?
Yeah. Yep, yeah, it's only 10 feet of movement. Dope. So yeah, Rial, you kind of like know, you look at this new beast in front of you. You know, you had taken a tactical position to try to, you know, maximize your ability in this fight and minimize your risk. You now realize where you're actually standing is no longer any kind of help to you. In fact, you are possibly at the easiest range for this thing to clobber on right now. So you just kind of start running along the wall. The throat fucker's still connected into the, you know, the spiky kind of stalagmite frame of the roper, and you just start running around the side of it. You know, the throat fucker's still hooked, and then as soon as you get to the other side, you feel it kind of pull against the resistance. It pops out and you leap, but your whole cape just kind of, you know, gushers up behind you as you land very dexterously on the ground.
Dope.
You make us so cool.
Anything else for your turn, Rial, or is that it for you?
No, I think I am spent. That is
Nice.
good. I just want some range because he's a big boy.
Yeah, again, he's so large, you know, whereas before, if you were standing on the other side of this roper, you might not be able to see him. You know, the roper frame itself is very large as well. But this thing is so big now that it's just like you just see a big gorilla sticking out on either side of this big, massive stalagmite, you know, bleeding this goo. Sweet. So, Brunor, the initiative passes to you.
Great. Okay, so yeah, I can see that he's getting bigger. He's super pissed off. Can I try to use my animal handling to like? I mean, he's on fire. He's so pissed off. I just.
He has arrows in his eyes.
Yeah, he's got arrows in his eyes. I have a feeling I'm not gonna be able to reason with this guy anymore, cause we blinded him and everything.
You all make a lot of really
Such
good points.
Yeah, right. Like, ooh. I like at first it's like I look over and I look at Thoricus and I just go, ah. And then I see the arrow go into the thing's eye and I go, all right. So I'm gonna take out Angela.
Yeah.
You know, as soon as you bring it out, the green elvish runes emblazoned on the side, they glow with it, with a, you know, a similar green intensity. You see the runes activate, you know, as it's almost called to your hand. So in tune are you with it.
Yep, I can feel it. It feels good. It feels sexy to have in my hand. So I'm gonna waltz, run on up to this gorilla, this purple gorilla, and I'm going to swippy swipe.
You charge in. It actually doesn't have a killer AC, so that you hit it. 15 AC hits, so 13 slashing damage. Nice. And are you using Angela one or two-handed? I'm just curious.
I am using Andrew one-handed.
One-handed. Okay, cool. So you still remember you get that 2 AC bonus from using your shield too. So yeah, you see Brian the crocodile kind of like looks over at you, you know, getting himself ready and engaged for battle. You lead the way, charging in. You know, you see this massive gorilla kind of swings at you as you run in on it. You quickly avert, you know, shift to the side, undercutting the arm that swings by, taking your chance. You stab Angerel crisply right underneath, you know, kind of at its hip. It's so tall. You stick it right in the thick part, the meaty part of its leg, and deal 13 damage. Very nice.
Excellent. I'm also going to mark him.
Ooh, nice.
I'm gonna be like, yeah! And then I'm gonna hit him again.
Heck yeah.
With 20, but only for 7 slashing.
All right, nice. 20 AC definitely hits, dirty 20, and 7 damage. Again, you slash into this thing. You know, whereas it was bleeding when you saw it, you know, the first time Rial shot it in the eye, since this transformation, you see most of the bleeding has stopped. And so it is, you know, I just don't want to give you guys the narrative indication that this thing is at less than half health yet, because it is not.
Good to know.
So, but yes, by using your unwavering mark, basically this thing, if it tries to make an attack against anybody else, you get a free attack against it. And it has disadvantage, right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, disadvantage on any attack that doesn't involve you. So, Brunor stepping up and taking a truly brave moment. There's a nice little moment here. So you begin walking, you know, with Angelo, your blade at your side, and the first gorilla swing shoots over your head, and as you start to thrust the sword up, you know, right when you hit the meaty part of its leg, you feel the pushing of a wave at your back. Like you're at the crest of a wave as it slams into the leg of this creature. And you feel this energy, this push from the coffin behind you. So you feel as if you're being like supported in some way. And suddenly, as you mark it, you see the green runes of Angerael slice across the leg. The runes kind of hang in the air before the creature. And you feel that same burning green fire kind of burning within your own being in this moment. And you see this giant, purple grape ape with 2 arrows in his eyes. He just kind of like looks and turns at you. And lets out another great giant cry. Again, just 20 feet, a 2-story building in front of you, as massive globs of spit just splash on the ground and the reeds around you. All right, so sweet. That's your 2 attacks, Brunor. Did you have anything else? You have Brian. Did you want Brian to do anything?
I'm just so scared to do anything with him, but he's got all these brand new motherfucking powers and shit, so I would like to...
He's a big, thick, wiggly boy now.
He is a big, thick, wiggly boy now. I'd like for him to give this, to maybe give the gorilla a bite on his arm.
Nice. All right, so yeah, you see Brian again. He's with his training. He's starting to move. You step left, and then he shifts right to like help. You guys are fighting as a unit now in a way that you never were able to before because he didn't have the intelligence to like think about like battle. He just wanted to bite the bad thing. And so you see, again, that intelligence that's kind of growing in his giant reptilian frame continues on. 14 AC is actually a hit. So you see he comes through with the bite. Now he won't be able to grapple this thing because it's so big. But so yeah, the bite hits.
Just give him a bite on his arm.
There you go, 10 piercing damage. Way to go, Brian. So yeah, you see him flap his wings and kind of jump up in the air, semi-half flying as your sword, slashes for the second time. You see his teeth lock into the arm. You see he lets it go. He's not going to try to grapple it because the creature's just too large.
Right. Excellent.
Boom. Awesome.
Okay.
Way to go, Brian. All right, is that your turn, Bruno?
That will be my turn.
All right, sweet. This is a little moment for the DM to talk to you, the audience. This is a template. This is actually a little homebrew, but it's a template that I found that I liked a lot. It is very tricky to make a 1-monster fight in D&D interesting. Usually it just ends up like everybody tag teams on it and it just dies eventually. So we're trying something new, and you're about to get to watch it in action. So at this point in initiative, the ape goes, and you have the full turn.
But, okay.
Oh, no, you still have stuff? Do you still have stuff, Bruno? I'm sorry, did I? Okay, cool. I just want to make sure I didn't jump your turn. So he does, okay, he's not super intelligent. I'm going to let him make an intelligence check. I don't know if he is smart enough. He rolled a 1. A -1. That's a crit.
I'd say no.
That's a crit. That's a crit 1 that actually we're happy about. That's bringing a lot of emotions out, guys.
So dumb.
Awesome. All right, so yeah, he is not smart enough to really realize what your runes, these burning, blazing runes in front of him mean. So he is going to continue his assault on the person he was mad at, which unfortunately is Divot. He does have disadvantage on these attacks. So his first swing, which good thing he did, because big boy swung pretty good on that first one. 11 AC misses you, is that correct, Divot?
Hell yeah.
All right, so you kind of like turn and look as Brunor's, this spectral display of green energy fighting this massive giant purple, burning gorilla. You turn back and look, and you feel like, oh yeah, he has a second fist. You see it just coming at you, so massive it's like curving the air around it. You hear this just swinging across the air. You drop down as it swings over top of you. Again, I gave him the check on it, so he doesn't really realize that he missed. Because of the disadvantage. So it's Divot, his second attack is a 12 AC? I don't think
that also misses.
All right, so nice. Okay, guys. All right. So that is going to be his attacks. He still has, where's he at right now? I like this. You know what? He's going to stay where he's at. He doesn't particularly feel overly threatened. So that he's not going to move. Well, let's see. No, because you wouldn't have to move out of it. Yep, no, he's got all of you in threat range, so he's pretty happy with his positioning right now. That's the end of his turn. Divot, you're up. Nice.
All right. So I dodged both of his fists, and then I look up and I hex him.
Nice. Bonus action hex.
Yeah, and the hex that I use is, that hat is too small for you.
You can wear that hat. All right, so yeah, you throw your hex on him. Pretty nice. Whenever you do any spell damage to him, he takes an additional d6. And then you can move it to other creatures after this creature dies. But yeah, that's sweet. So yeah, that's a bonus action casting. And then you still have your action and your move.
Yeah, and I'm gonna hit him with that Eldritch Blast.
Nice.
Pew.
Which, yeah, the Hex Eldritch Blast combo, so juicy. Ooh, what's up, crit?
Oh, then.
Crit. My thing's kind of dying. All right. Nice crit there, Divot. Fantastic. So you do, let's see, it's double dice on this crit, so we're just going to use both damages. That's 16 plus 5. Nice, 21 damage, bro, with your first Eldritch Blast. You just blast him into this huge, you also a master of the green fire of your own. You just start calling upon that eldritch energy within you, and you just shoot this arcing green blast, almost identical to the one from the painting of the little girl. Nice, 21 damage. You have a second one still.
Yes, yes, I do.
17 AC is also good enough. So let's see, a D10 plus 4 here. That's 7. All right, so 7 more damage. Nice, 28 damage in a turn, bro. That's pretty nice. And with that 7, he is actually, you see as the green arcing fire explodes on this patch of hair on his chest. And he looks down at it again, the arrow still sticking out of his face. He looks down and you see some blood start pouring out of the wound from where you singed him with this spell. So yeah, you guys have tuned him up pretty good. But yeah, Divot, that's your action and bonus. Do you want to do a move or anything? Now, if you do leave his threat range, he will get an AOO on you.
No, I'm gonna stay right there.
All right. So this is how this little template works. This guy actually goes 4 times in initiative now. So at initiative 10, he only gets 1 attack or a movement. And he's going to take this as an attack. Brunor, he's smart enough at this point, after a couple failed attempts, that would have been hits, were it not for that disadvantage that you had put on him with your mark. He's going to turn around, look at you, and just one big punch with his massive gorilla Grape Ape arm. Boom. I cast Fist. 27 AC. I'm pretty sure that's a hit.
Yup. That got me good.
Rolling almost max damage. You take 23 bludgeoning. You feel this thing, it hits you. I mean, you don't know what a truck is, but in a couple thousand years you will, and it hits like one of those. You're ready, you're watching it swing at Divot and miss, and you're like, okay, yeah, bro, like bring it on, right? And then again, similar to feeling that wave push on your back, it's like when you biff a wave and this massive force just punches you right in the breastplate of your full plate armor. It actually crinkling the metal a little bit.
Ouch.
So that is his turn. The 2 of his initiatives are much smaller turns. That's one of them. Thoricus, you see as this big fist smashes into Brunor in front of you. You're feeling pretty tuned up yourself, and you're kind of like doing the math. You're like, pretty sure that punch might have killed me. But it's your turn in initiative. What do you do?
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and use one of my second wins real quick, because Papa needs some hit points. He ain't no fool.
Good, man. D10 plus your fighter level.
Yeah.
Which you're 7 now, right? I should know. This.
7, correct.
Sweet.
There we go. Oh, there we go.
Ooh, rolling a poopy 1, unfortunately. But yeah, 8 hit points. You get a little, you feel like maybe you might need that second win sooner rather than later.
I mean, it's still 8, right?
Yeah, yep, you get 8 back.
That's not terrible.
Yeah, that's better than a lot of healing potions. You know what I mean?
Alright. So, all So yeah, now after I feel a little bit better about myself on that, feeling good. Yeah. I'm gonna go after that ankle again, because first time he ran past me, I was trying to take that thing out.
Yeah. Again, kind of identifying quickly in the battle, like the weakest point on this beast. If I can only take him out at the ankle, surely all that mass would fall, and then we would have the advantage.
Well, I mean, there's the Tao of Jeet Kune Do. If you can't see, he can't fight. If you can't stand, he can't fight. If you can't breathe, he can't fight. So we're taking care of all the things already.
All the things. We're here to teach lessons, guys.
Bruce Lee's gonna be around in 1,000 years, right around the same time as trucks.
Yeah.
So.
Bruce Lee and trucks. They'll both be introduced to D&D around the same time.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and move on up here.
Moving on up to the Grape Ape.
Moving on.
I don't remember which ankle it was though.
Yeah, you're actually right. It's like I said, it's kind of at this point it's opened itself up, so you're kind of like running around and trying to like take the corner part of your axe and like hook it into the ankle. You have seen, some of the damage that you had done where you felt like before maybe you were only a strike away. You see this transformation has made the wound, a little thicker now, and so you're like, might take a little bit more to bring this beast down. But yeah, go for it. You see the the scarred tissue in the area that you've already cleaved some of his hair and stuff off of, so you just kind of aim right back at it again.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Nice, 28 AC. More than enough to hit the Grape Ape. And max damage. 10, 16. So you bring you begin the Cyclone of Doom. You start spinning your two-bladed weapon, and his arm kind of swings at you, and you like hook your axe to it for a moment and let that spin you even faster. And you just kind of do like a super wind-up spin, crack into his ankle for 16 points of damage. He lets out a huge cry.
Just gonna cry about it. No. Yeah.
Where are you going, bro? Why are you
Sorry, I
running
couldn't get to his hit points. I had to move a little. He's like sitting on the top of it. He grabs Tina, climbs the roper, and then like it's the end of King Kong. Brian's flying around shooting a machine gun at him.
I forgot about Brian's machine gun.
Oh yeah, that's
We forgot
one
to
of
put
the
on
side
character
effects.
sheet.
Brian would put it on backwards or something. I know Brian.
He's such a sweetheart. Last two.
All right, sweet. So you allow that momentum to kind of keep you spinning, hitting another 28 AC. That's a popular AC for you tonight, Thoricus. 10 more damage. Very nice. 26 damage on your turn too. You guys are tuning this dude up a lot more than I thought you would. So yeah, it's just savagely. You guys are rolling hot on damage tonight, and I love it. I'm here for it. All right. Anything else, Thoricus?
I don't think so, because I already used my bonus action a second wind.
All right.
And I already moved, so.
It is, again, the Grape Ape's turn, this time getting a full round once more. So this time he's going to... Let's see, where's he at here? I'm thinking like a gorilla. Let me... He flings poo at you.
That would be rude.
Why doesn't he have a poo fling attack? I'm a little upset by that. Well, he has a rock attack. I don't mean maybe he pooped a rock.
You're the DM. Why doesn't he have a
Welcome to my world. Yeah. He poops out a purple nug of weed and throws it at you. No, so yes, this giant gorilla, again, he doesn't really want to take all these attacks. Like if he just jumped away, you guys would manhandle him. So he's gonna do the thing he can do best, and that is beat the crap out of somebody. He looks at Bruno pretty angry. All these bursts of magic and weaponry and everything slicing at him. He's kind of disoriented. You see him kind of backing up, his shoulders pressing into the snake-like vines behind him. And you see him kind of freaking out like a cornered animal a little bit. And Bruno, because you marked him, you're gonna get these two attacks. First attack, 13 AC. That's a miss.
Sorry.
Second attack, 25 AC.
God damn it!
Got him. Oh, not nearly as bad. 14 bludgeoning damage, Brunor. Again, you feel the smashing force of this. This time he kind of clips you on the shoulder, and you see the shoulder plate of your full plate armor kind of bust a little bit. Like he hit so hard that it just broke some of the setting pins, and your shoulder plate's kind of like half hanging off your shoulder. But you still stand, you don't fall back or anything. You're still holding your position like a boss. So that's going to be the end of his turn. Tina Smoothhands, you're up.
Oh, well, I see this lavender monkey, this grape ape raining these blows on Brunor, and I see him and I panic, and I know this new magic that I have access to, and I cast banishment on him.
Ooh, girl, new spell. Shit.
Well, let's see.
One thing this new template doesn't do is make banishment not a thing. All right. So this is hot new magic. This is some level 4, like we've been saying. The 5 are getting access to some of the higher powers of the world. You're seeing the casters start having some pretty strong spells. I tried using the spell against you guys last week, but David passed his saving throw. So, Tina, you walk up. Let me know what your banish looks like, because Tina Smoothhands, I assume your banish looks a little different than the average halflings.
Yeah, well, I want to connect it to my girl Shantia. I want to connect it to that life force. I want it to have some sort of flower feel, some sort of, if he can disappear and like a little rose petal, like just like American Beauty, just
Yes.
rose petals falling all over the air.
My name is Lester Burnham. That may be one of my favorite movies ever. Yes, absolutely. So he does get a saving throw. It's not just like poof, be gone with a savage eye roll. He gets his charisma saving throw. Let's see how good this gorilla's charisma is.
Well, he's not very smart.
All right, let's just say he's not getting by on his looks either. So he has a -2 to this roll, Tina. What's the DC?
My DC?
Yeah.
14.
He got a 2! Tina, if you will, allow me this artistic license, because I love your concept. So, Tina, you set your hand down, instead of being at the ready with your weapons out, posed in a defensive position, ready to shift, you simply hold your mace out and drop it to the ground. And suddenly, all the flowers on the walls, the blooming red and purple flowers that are part of the miracle that you performed all around you, you hear them start rattling all around you. All you guys that are fighting the gorilla, you kind of like turn and look, and you see that glowing light, that benevolence that kind of shines from Tina at certain moments. You see it start rippling out from her. As she starts walking forward, you see the colors of the pupils of her eyes disappear, and her eyes become pure white. And she starts walking forward, and as she raises her hand up, you see all these leaves from all these rose petals and leaves from all the surrounding plants that she summoned in her miracle start dropping petals, and they start swirling into this mass behind her. She steps forward, calmly, like not attacking with the hand, but just gently resting your hand. You feel the thick, coarse purple hair in between your fingers as you rest your hand against this great beast. Looking up, it's 15 feet taller than you, Tina, 17 almost. And so you just look up, you're barely standing just around its ankle. And you look up, and as it kind of looks around, you see it look down at you, both, with the 2 arrows sticking out of its eyes. And then from behind it, like in a shark movie, you see this giant Venus flytrap open from the wall of vines behind it. And then close over the gorilla. As it pulls back into the wall, petals trickle down from the hole that it was absorbed by. And there is floating there 2 little green flames. Now, Tina, your eyes are still glowing. Your concentration needs to be held for up to a minute at this point. But if you concentrate for more than a minute, this beast never comes back. You have sent it back to a harmless demi-plane. And so you you're trying to hold it away. I'm sorry, that's if it's an incorporeal creature. So being from another time, you've basically like sent it back in time in this moment. So if you can hold concentration for the next minute, this grape ape will not be coming back. You all have now seen this ape pulled away. You see Tina's eyes, just her hand is still floating where the beast once was, her eyes burning white with magic. And she's just kind of holding there, for the next 60 seconds, ostensibly. But yeah, you guys are all you've never seen her do this before. This is, again, just calling upon this crazy magic.
What the fuck? What the fuck was that? Oh, God. No, that was so, no.
Wow.
Bruder is so freaked out. Bruder is so freaked out because seeing a huge plant come out of the wall and eat this 15-foot tall thing, and her and Thoricus are right in front of it. So just right in front of her, just closed teeth, and she's like, oh my God, that was.
Right. That was a hell of a thing.
I'm the farthest away from everybody. Since I'm so far away, it's just from like a good 20 feet away, like, damn!
And do I have access to my own thoughts? And I know I'm concentrating, but
Concentration's not like you have to be like, the whole time. It just means you can't cast other spells that require concentration.
Okay, because I recognize my own growth in this moment. I recognize that I am controlling a new power source that I previously was not able to control. I'm like, all right, you go, girl. Yeah. All right, but still concentrating.
Yeah, you see Tina kind of looks at, whereas normally, like, she's, like, focused on this thing. Suddenly you see her vision kind of break, and you look, and it's Tina. Like, it's like, even though, yes, she's powerful, and she has burning white magical eyes, and her hand is, sending this being, and there's floating petals everywhere. You see the same kind of crooked half smile that Tina has shared with you a million times before, as she even seems to kind of be like, hey, check out what I can do.
Look at my new trick.
Tina, explain that.
Maybe later.
You hear her voice is kind of distorted. It's like, maybe later. She holds the spell. All right, actually, there's no other combat participants, so holding it for a minute is a lot easier than it would be under circumstances. So in this case, Tina, yes, you control this beast. You have basically successfully sent it back to the plane and time that it's from. So the two flames where it was are now still floating there. The tomb of the Blade Master, destroyed in splintered black steel pieces with the just destroyed skeleton, as well as the two-handed blade nearby. But the two flames just kind of floating in front of you guys, seemingly locked in the same moment with you, Tina. And as the spell kind of ends, the minute goes away and this transformation becomes more permanent. Your eyes return to normal, the magic fades from your hands. You see the petals kind of slowly dropping to the ground all around you guys, as you can just feel the high magic in the room around you. All of you looking at these two burning flames.
Wow.
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 Shout out to the wowzers.
The wowzers.
Do I recognize this magic in front of us?
So you guys have seen these little flames at this point. They have been the source of the life within each of these individual creatures. So it's like the essence of these two, the Jester, which was within the gorilla, as well as the Blade Master, which it absorbed after that fit of rage. So yeah, you guys don't, you're like looking around at each other, like nobody really speaks fire. But yes, these two green fires are kind of floating before you. But the battle encounter is over.
Wait, doesn't Divot speak fire?
Yeah,
No.
I mean, I'll check it out.
Or do you like eat souls now or something? I think those are souls. You should probably just eat
Do you
those.
eat souls now, or something like that?
Yeah, aren't you just a soul reaver?
Right.
Yup.
All right, so like in that '90s show Ghost Rider, you see these two little floating green orbs, just kind of burning. Not really, aggressively, not coming toward you or anything, but just seemingly like burning there in front of you guys. So Divot, you kind of, I talk to weird things, and you step up to the plate. You see they just kind of float there in unison, crackling together.
Okay. Can I do some kind of check on them?
Yeah, go ahead and do like an Arcana check to see if maybe you,
All right.
you know, if you understand the magic behind it. Perhaps you could figure out if you're like trying to communicate with it or not.
All right, I got an
Nice.
an
18. Yeah.
18.
18 is pretty good. So, David, at this moment, basically, you know, as you again, whatever your relationship with death is, this new task that he seems to be loading you or preparing you with, as you build in power from the acorn that he planted within you. You get a similar feeling if you remember the ghost lights when you were in Death's domain. You know, that dot at the staircase that led to his chair. They seem like those. They're similar. Like there is a spirit within these fires, but the intention, the motive, the drive is seemingly not there. You know, it's more just life essence that's floating in front of you guys. But you do know, you know, it is the life essence of the Blade Master, and it is the life essence of the Jester.
Ollie,
I want to try to communicate with it.
All right, yeah, you actually have a pretty cool ability to talk to just about anything as long as it has an intelligence. So you open your mind to communicate with this thing, and you hear the common kind of static that you hear when you talk to more like summoned creatures and things of the like. There's like a loud burning sound, but as you kind of filter your ears, you start hearing through the noise. You hear a very, very faint voice, and it sounds exactly like yours, talking back at you.
Like the same things I'm saying, just coming back at me.
Exactly. Yes. So you're sending like you're like hello, and then you hear hello back.
talk to the other one.
Yeah. Okay. I'll try to talk to the other one real quick too.
All right. So you kind of shift your focus, channeling your mental magics from one burning orb to the other, and suddenly you hear the of the clang of a massive battle. You hear just shouts of combat and the slamming of shields and swords together. Tink, tink, tink. You hear the slicing of skin being rendered open, the cries, the swan songs of the last moments of several warriors. You don't see anything, but you just hear this massive battle.
I'm watching Divot talk to these, and I wonder if I can access the life force in these flames too, because I'm familiar with life magic and how things bloom and die and are lit aflame and extinguish. And so I step forward and I want to see if I can communicate with them as well.
All right, so in this beautiful moment of symmetry, you have the death version of dark, our dark Divot, the red mask of death emblazoned on his loosely flesh-skinned face, standing forward, kind of weaving the magics between him and these two flames. Mirrored him opposite, 20 feet set on the other side. Tina Smoothhands kind of begins walking up, and both of you, on either side, you have death and you have life. Both start kind of trying to weave your magics together to communicate with these spirits or figure out the nature of them. Tina, go ahead and give me, you can give me a religion or an arcana check, whichever you would prefer to make in this case.
I'm gonna smoke to that visualization. That's kind of cool.
Absolutely.
All right.
What, I make creme brulee? Get out of here.
And I got a 14.
Man, I wanna dump my inspiration point to make this like next level.
I like it.
I think
All
I
right.
have an inspiration point too, if we could like double down. And,
Oh my God!
Like, next level. Oh. No pressure.
All right. The force. Are you both burning an inspiration point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Jeez.
So, Tina, with your 19, definitely good enough. You both kind of start hands out, Tina, your eyes start glowing white once more. Divot, yours roll black. And you stand, and you guys, the three of you, not part of this, you watch as basically this growing purple shadow begins growing from Divot, and this glowing yellow light begins resonating from Tina. And you watch as they kind of weave their hands through the magic ethers before them, calling upon historical knowledge they both somehow have access to. Tina from her connection to her god, Divot by his connection to his patron, the god Death. And you both kind of call upon this ancient knowledge. And you weave through the static, the burning, flaming ember sounds begin to get softer and softer, and suddenly the clang of battle stops. The burning sound stops. And you hear a voice. Fellow heroes of the Shekinah prophecy, it was our honor to do battle with you. We wish you luck. More luck than we had. Beware the betrayer. And you see the two flames start circling around each other so fast that they become one fixed green light. And you see them both combine into one burning, blazing fire that then shoots into the splintered coffin of the Blade Master that lay nearby. You watch as the coffin is once more summoned back into being. The corpse within inside tucked away safely. The coffin rests. A little dust, some of the gold dust of the ground blows away as it settles once more. You see the green fire return to the Jester coffin. They both burn in green, intense light for a moment, and then go out. You see one coffin lid open. The other, the black steel lid, opens. And that is where we're going to pick it up after intermission, guys.
Whoa.
Damn.
I somehow hurt my shoulder. It's weird. I have a terrible shoulder, for those of you that don't know, and I don't know what I did, but it hurt. All right. It was probably just because that was so righteous. Awesome, guys. Sweet. We are going to do a quick intermission. Intermission's one of my favorite things. We get to share all this awesome, amazing art that's been submitted from the Buds and Vlad Kolinek and just all these amazing artists that have been so wonderful to create just this like visual representation of this awesome story that we're all telling together. So please keep an eye out on the awesome art that's been submitted and as well as the music, the wonderful tracks that Sandy Stein makes for us. We kind of get a chance to showcase them rather than having them in the background. You get to hear them in their full amazing fury. So please, we're going to be back for 10 minutes. That's it. And then we're going to be back to finish this crazy shit that is going on right now.
Whoa, cricket.
Ooh, yes, welcome back to Weed&d, the pot positive live tabletop role-playing experience. Oh man, big giant gorillas, giant freaking huge, that was a lot. Anyway, let's jump back in. 5. You're sitting around in the purified garden once more. You still see the rose petals and flowers still just kind of slowly, gently falling to the ground. Like so recently was this magic occurring that it's still just drifting to the ground. You watch as the 2 lids of the coffins, one labeled the Jester, one in the Blade Master, both of them open up. You know, you smell that old air once more, but no longer the rot of the corpses within. The coffins still lay open right now. Divot, you're actually pretty close. You look over, and you see in the coffin labeled the Blade Master no longer a skeleton or corpse as there was before, but simply laying in the velvet lining of this black steel coffin is the 2-bladed sword. It just rests as if this coffin was for it. You kind of, Thoricus, you see him kind of looking over into the Blade Masters, and you kind of peek over to your side. You look into the open coffin of the Jester, the black steel lid open, the shifted dust kind of billowing around it. And you look in and you just see this beautiful purple velvety lining and nothing more. No corpse, no item. What do you guys do?
You find anything over there, guy?
Yeah, it looks like somebody buried a Crown Royal sword over here.
That's weird, because it's just like a bunch of Crown Royal bags over in this one. And it smells like Updog.
Yeah.
What's up, Doc?
Ha! Gotcha.
Yeah. Not again.
Yeah. So there's nothing over here in this one. Just so everyone knows that it's a lovely coffin.
Extremely well made.
The craftsmanship is amazing.
Maybe that's because whatever was supposed to be in there went that way.
Brunor, as you move your hand to kind of point across the other side of the room, your hand kind of waves in the direction of the coffin, the marked the ruler. And as your hand kind of goes and gently passes by it, you hear the coffin, and the lid opens up.
Good.
It's fine.
You see Brian jumps back too, like super scared on the ready, his big buff arms like ready, swolled out, ready to fight.
Okay, I will look inside of this coffin.
Kind of peer over to it, and you see laying inside the old wooden coffin. Yours was a little different than the other ones. The old, like brown, stained with age wood, like the old cask of an ancient brew. You see laying inside the blue and silver lined coffin, the ships, the maidens. The maiden's bort. the front of the ship with the maiden on it, it's like a bort. Maiden's head. Yes. I'm going with the maiden's bort. You look down and you see the maiden's bort shield. Again, the front of this ancient ship that's been forged into a shield. You see it once more laying there, no longer clasped within the skeletal hands of a female elf skeleton, but just laying softly and gently amidst the velvet lining of the coffin.
Tubular. Do I feel anything coming from it, or is it just the object in there? There's nothing else.
For the first time, Brunor, you really you keep having this very aquatic experience with this thing whenever you interact with it. The feeling of being torn and thrown by the ocean or the cresting wave, all these things. For the first time, this coffin doesn't call to you of the ocean like it had before. It seems now still, almost like the air of a museum, just stale and crisp, and it's there, and softly cradled in this coffin, but no longer, imbued with whatever connection maybe you had to the spirit within in your, exchange with it.
In that case, it seems like a really special shield, and it needs to have purpose. So before I didn't want to take it because I felt like it wasn't for me. It belonged to somebody else. It was theirs. It had their story with it. It was that history, and I didn't feel right taking it because it wasn't supposed to be mine yet. But in this moment, because it doesn't have any attachment, because it just sits there as an object, it's useless unless I use it, right? It's just nothing unless it's being put to use. So I want to carry on that legacy, and I'm gonna pick that sexy biatch up.
All right, Bruno, as you reach down, it's still an extremely finely crafted maiden's head. The maiden's bort, the shield shall be forever known.
Yeah,
you reach down and you see all the boardy goodness of all the various borts along the side, and the borts emblazoned upon the boardy front of it. And it's heavy, it's thick, it's truly crafted from the front of a ship. But you instantly kind of feel like the way it balances with your protector instinct. You slide your arms into the leather straps in the back of it, and they seem to fit like a glove, perfectly placed. You start kind of moving it around a little bit, and you look down. You feel that call of your destiny once more. Kind of for the longest time, an urge that you fought. You ran away from, and you continued. You tried to build a new name for yourself. You left your past behind. But each time, as you connect to these destinies, battling with dragons, watching Brian's transformation, all these things, as you've seen them happen, you've kind of grown connected to this moment and this shield that you have. So you look down, and it feels, again, kind of the same way that Andrel does. It just feels like a natural fit on the side of your body.
Oh, yeah.
I gaze upon Brunor having this really badass moment, and
Tina, you actually notice something real quick. You look, and as you watch Brunor, like you said, you were looking at her, you see her slide the shield on and begin moving it around. The placard at her feet, at the base of the coffin, the runes that say the ruler, you see they start glowing. Just a detail that you notice.
Would I know anything about this? Like why they would suddenly come?
It certainly seems to be reacting to Brunor. That you don't even really need a check for that. You know what I mean? It's it's like this moment.
I see Brunor stepping into her destiny in this moment, and the words of the adventurers previous are still hanging in my mind, and maybe it's the trickster cleric in me still hanging about. But I gotta get that ring. I gotta get that ring on my finger. So I step forward and I slide it on.
Similarly, Tina, as you begin to kind of walk toward your coffin, previously you had to place your hand on it and it opened almost at your beck and call. But this time, as you begin to walk over it in perfect pace, like it perfectly is open as you arrive in front of it, you see this like pearl and opalescent velvety lining of the inside of the benevolent coffin as well. And sitting there, just laying in the center, no longer the skeletal frame of whatever hero was there before, but simply the ring, the silver ring with the outstretched giving hands, at the top where a stone would set. And you feel that benevolent warmth once more. And you start moving your hand down to pick it up, and you see it just floats up in front of your finger, and then slides, perfectly fit. You normally would have to go to a jewelry, crafter to get a fit like this. Fits perfectly, slides into place, and the placard
it feels like
at
I've
your
worn
feet.
this ring my entire life.
Exactly, and you see the placard at your feet start glowing. The words, "the benevolent," glow.
So, I'm gonna.
So glad you all got fun new toys.
Well, I'm gonna go grab my fun new toy.
You kind of push Divot out of the way, like, excuse me, man.
Excuse me, there, guy.
I gotta get. It's right behind you.
Ooh, can you?
Yeah,
Oh,
Thorkis, you walk up, you know, the coffin lid already open. And in the back of your mind, my favorite place, you hear that far-off battle. Clink, 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 clink. But unlike to the other people that have heard it, to you, it sounds like a symphony. It is not just a great battle that you are hearing. You are hearing the perfect battle. A battle so balanced that it will go on for eternity. And wherever this spirit has gone, you feel a comforting warmth in your chest that perhaps he is now engaged in that same battle right now. And so as you kind of slowly move your hand toward the double-bladed weapon, you know, the sound gets a little bit louder and a little bit louder, and then finally your stout, thick dwarven hands rest at the center heft of the sword. And the sound stops. Again, it moves, it glides through the air, you know, made to be a finesse weapon, you know, for a more dexterous fighter, but you're looking at it, you know, the craftsmanship on it is brilliant and uncanny. You feel it before you. You see the placard at your feet begins glowing. The Blade Master glows in bright yellow light at the placard at the base of the coffin. Divot, you're kind of looking around the room at everybody and their awesome, inspiring, epic moments, and you can't help but feel the emptiness coming from your own coffin when your eyes meet Rial's, who's kind of standing there in a very similarly like, well,
What the fuck, man?
moment.
Well, I look at Rial, and I look at everybody's cool stuff, and I'm like, very nice. Now, let's go get my hat.
I'm with it.
You guys see Divot seems pretty determined. Do you start head toward the south?
Yeah, most definitely.
All right. So yeah, you just you're like, excuse me, all you guys with your cool magic stuff. You kind of step in a little bit of the blue goo just on purpose.
Can I pause just for a second? Because I got rocked, if you will. So I wanna give myself, if I can I do a second wind on myself while we just do a second? Can I take?
Yeah. So you could. I'm just. This is. You guys are free to do what you want. You could do a second wind here. That's certainly a way that you can heal yourself. There is no current threat. So I mean, really, if you guys wanted to throw a short rest together, you could. You know, a long rest is kind of a longer mechanic, which you could do, but you just did one. So you know, bad D&D etiquette to do another long rest. But yeah, if you guys want to do a short rest, they take an hour. You guys can use your hit dice to heal up, or you can just kind of do the quick thing and do your second wind.
I think it's time for a quick meal. I'm already working on a campfire real quick. I noticed that there's no action going on. I'm like, I need some food. I'm stressed out. All right.
Yeah, you look at the giving hands on the ring, and you know it immediately. Like you look at it, and you're like, ah, yes. Like what better way to calm the spirits of my allies than to bring the bounty of Shantia once more? And as before, you know, you kind of just reach out, and you see these like snake tendril vines start bringing you various herbs and spices and mole eggs, bunches, just dozens of mole eggs, and you begin cooking up a little dish.
Whole eggs.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I wanna use my hit dice.
Awesome.
Please.
Yeah, in a short rest, you guys can use your any of the hit dice that you have. Remember, you get half of your hit dice back on a long rest. So some of you might not be maxed out. Some of you are. I don't think we've used a ton of hit dice. But yeah, you get to roll your hit dice to heal yourself. You can use as many as you want at a short rest. It is common to kind of top yourself off, like in Mega Man when he gets the little energy thing, and he like does one of those. Yeah, exactly. It feels good. We all know it. That's the sound I made for it.
So I guess my question is, like, if we use, like, for Bruno and I have another second wind. She has her 1 second wind, but we could both technically use that short rest and get those skills replenished at the end too. So could we use hit dice and second wind?
Yeah, if second wind, I'm sorry, I should totally know this because I even have a fighter. Second wind comes back on a short rest?
Yes, I'll throw it in.
I just want to double check. If it comes back on a short rest, you could absolutely use it before you start the short rest. That's fine to save yourself some hit dice for the future. Yeah. I'm sorry. Here we go.
Actually, it just says once per rest. It doesn't actually say short rest.
Okay, in that case, then if it says rest, then short and long, that is both rests. So so a short rest counts. So yeah, go ahead and use both of you guys use your second wind. and then you might have to use, less. Divot, there's always a thing warlocks can do too. If there's any spells that have like a long duration you want to cast, that last longer than an hour, you could cast one and then get your spells back, your warlock spell slots back as well. We'll just we'll cook through this hour, all pun intended. Like Tina's making up a quick meal for you guys. There's kind of just like this weird, you're all very much like looking at these items and relics that you have and like looking over at like a frustrated Divot who's not a hungry, doesn't need to eat, doesn't really need to sleep. So he's very...
Yeah, I'm just chain smoking this whole time.
Yeah, and if I can like approach Rial a little bit and ask him any questions about the Dragon's Horde, I'd like to do that. If he can maybe seek any knowledge in his memory, that would be really useful to me. Maybe I'd be like, hey everybody, let's all gather around, eat a little bit. Let's all feed our belly, fill our bellies. We've all.
Yeah, I'm gonna burn a mantle of inspiration as well.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna turn into like the old like gilded version of me before I was a skeleton, and kind of like sing to the group while they eat.
Oh, nice. Heck yeah. They get your Song of Rest too, Divot, because they're short resting with you. They heal, I believe it's a D6 additional from their rest, as long as they use hit dice.
Yeah, so everybody gets an additional D6 to their healing, but that does not include me, correct?
I don't think so.
Yeah, and then you get 8 temporary hit points as well. I get to pick four people, I believe.
Yes.
So I'll give them to Brian and Tina and Thoricus and Brunor.
Awesome. So yeah, temporary hit points, remember they exist on top of your health, so you take those before you take any real damage. So it's like it gave you a little 8, temporary shield.
Those saved my ass. I was hoping on those kind of saved my keister there.
And yeah, this is specifically a song of Fey magic, Divot. So because the pink mist is nearby, I'm going to grant you the benefits of it as well. So you get both your healing from the Song of Rest, and you get the temporary hit points too. You notice as you weave this spell, it says specifically it's a Fey magic spell that imbues your allies with vigor and speed. In this case, that pink mist that surrounds you kind of summons around you, much akin to the way the flower petals did for Tina. Yeah. And you see this like pink breeze kind of just blows amongst you guys and allows, the inspiration and the
And I attempt to do the whole party, but for some reason it just doesn't work on Rial.
Yeah.
Oh.
Weird.
I tried.
That's weird.
Wow.
Wow.
All right.
Wow.
Excellent.
Wow. Yeah. So we're all
Real
we're
quick,
all gathered
for those
here.
of you who watch the show on YouTube, on Twitch, we have an Owen Wilson wow sound effect that can be played with channel points, which you get from watching the show. So there are a fair bit of Owen Wilson wows throughout the show that if you've never seen it, just go to Twitch one time, Art Hard Studios, Twitch TV, and check it out, because the Owen Wilson wows are just a chef's kiss to this production.
Wow.
All right, Tina. So yeah, you and Rial, you're kind of sitting there by the fire. Feel free to talk as you will.
Yeah. Rial, I know you don't remember much from your imprisonment, but I know that you're good with books, and you did speak of a dragon's horde, and I'd like to be as well equipped if we can. And I know we still have business to finish here, but if you could tell me some stuff sometime soon, perhaps we could go over some books together. I'd love to learn and be able to guide our group.
Hell yeah.
Of course. I admire that. There is something I must do first, and I wonder if you wouldn't mind joining me.
Yeah. What is it?
Thank you. I want to investigate this statue we destroyed. You've all found relics of your past selves, and I'm currently in possession of this incredible artifact of a sword. But without a tomb, what if it belonged to the statue before we found it here? And yeah, I want to take a look at the statue, see if it had hands for a sword, like if it was holding it. You said it was a prideful
Yes,
gesture.
so the
would-
left hand was gesturing off to the side, but you didn't really take a good look at the right, so yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to take a look at that, because I really want to attune to this blade, but at the same time, everybody else's relics seem pretty... Hate to repeat history, right? Tank.
All right, so yeah, Riao, you walk back over. You're trying to remember every detail that you could of the statue as you walked up. Seeing the face so striking that whereas normally you're quite astute and you would studiously observe every detail. Just your own face looking back at you kind of kept you from doing what you normally would. So in this moment, as everybody's kind of sharing in this meal that Tina's weaving together for you guys, you step off and kind of walk over toward where the crumbling statue remnants of the statue of Synthesis the Corrupted lay in between the Blade Master and the Jester. Again, as you walk over, you see the Blade Master, the Ruler, and the Benevolent. The letters are still glowing on those three tombs. The Jester, however, is not illuminated. And you walk over to kind of the base of the statue that remains. Most of the body itself lies in shattered pieces. You kind of kick through the rubble a little bit, and you see where the left hand was, gesturing outright, where the right hand appeared to be resting on the hilt of a sword.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! All right.
Whoa.
Is the plaque still intact? Like the runes for Synthesis the Corrupted, is that still there?
It is, there's a shattered crack where the magic of the spell, shattered the vibrating sound waves that tore apart the statue. So the placard is cracked. You see a big split right down the middle where the is, and you just see Synthesis and then a shattered arc and then the word corrupted. But in this moment, Riao, you look at them, and rather than the foreboding sense of dread that you often feel when looking at these things which share a strange legacy to your past, you for some reason take comfort in the fact that these two words are separated. You look at them, it's as one. Synthesis the Corrupted is this figure, this thing you don't know, all these unanswered questions that you seem to be a piece in some way of that you don't understand. But in this moment, seeing that synthesis can be one thing and corruption can be another thing, you just ruminate on the visual of the placard at your feet, not glowing like the others, no magical energy to it, but you do look. And your brain kind of puts together that idea that it was like Synthesis was corrupted, and in that moment you're looking at it and it's just an arrangement of the pieces you've never quite pondered on before. Like that's an interesting, he's the Lord of Darkness or Shadows and, has murdered the friends and allies of, or dealt with the backstories of every person that you adventure with. And so it's like that realization suddenly that, the less of the Shadow Lord and more of the man, you something within you connects to
that. While looking at the runes, I set my hand on the hilt of the luck blade.
You set your hand again, you feel just the massive power that it hums, as you get your hand where, as the inch between your palm and the top of the hilt close, you feel this great vibration, this power that emanates from this, truly magical weapon. You kind of push against it and rest your palm against it. Your eyes just kind of close as you feel the magical hum emanating from this item. And then you hear a voice in the back of your mind. Oh, come on, what's the worst that could happen?
Well.
David Hyde Pierceman? David Hyde Pierceman?
I want you to go around them.
I don't quite know if I can communicate with the sword, but I'm just gonna keep the hand on the hilt and think real hard. Can you hear me?
course I can hear you. Do it. You know you want to. Do it. I'm very powerful.
And who are you?
What? I am the greatest blade that ever lived! And then you hear him laugh for like 20 more seconds.
Okay. You good? Do you have a name, though? Is there any way you'd like me to regard you as?
You may call me the greatest blade that was ever forged. The Reaver of Souls, the Forger of Empires. All of those at once, never any just one of them.
The goat.
Goat.
But not the port. Don't call me a port.
Yes. The board. Yes.
You start seeing those fractures.
We can't hear this, right? We can't hear it, only Real can.
Yeah.
While he's like over there kind of goofing about, can I just investigate? Can I investigate? I remember that the statue is gesturing over the one direction. Is there any way that I can like just kind of like look around and see maybe if he was gesturing? I mean, was he gesturing at the coffin specifically, or like can I look around that area?
Yeah, go ahead and make an investigation check.
Oh God. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt whatever that was.
No, you like walk by and you see Real's got his like hand on the hilt of a sword. He's just like,
Well, I got a 4, so you can just ignore it.
so it so distracts you that you are incapable. No, you're just looking at him and he's like being very strange and odd. And you, Brunor, are the only other person that has like experienced that weird wave of energy that comes with that blade. And so again, Brunor, here's what you actually see. You see Real standing very similarly to the posture of the statue that you noticed when you walked up. You see him standing in front of a placard that says Synthesis the Corrupted, a placard that used to represent a statue that looked just like it. And you see him coldly caressing the hilt of the top of this blade, separate from the group, amidst these coffins. That's what you see.
Cool. So I've held the blade before. So I know that it talks. I said something to everybody that it talks. So I'm just kind of looking at Real, seeing him touch it, and seeing watching his body language as I kind of walk. So my original intention was to go investigate, but I rolled the 4, so I got so distracted by him that I'm like, hold on a second. And I just stop and look at him completely hey, Real.
Yeah. Yes.
You, hear anything funny?
And I'm packing up dinner, lunch, or breakfast, or whatever it was, and I'm like, oh, Real's been gone for a while.
Yeah, everybody's kind of walking over there.
I noticed that everybody's sort of congregating around the statue of Synthesis, the statue of Synthesis that looks like Real. So
The broken one, yeah.
What he's up to.
Yeah. All right.
Hey guys, what's going on?
So, Real and I was just curious. I've just held the blade, so I was curious. That was it. That was all I was doing. I was just curious how the sword felt.
The sword talks. We both
Right? It fucking talks, right? Real, right?
You called it a David Hyde Pierce? Sounds just like what I'd imagine a David Hyde Pierce.
David Hyde Pierce, yep. Sounds just like
Legendary
a David
bard.
Hyde.
Absolutely. Now, I have a question. Would I have heard that because of the Rocky Talkies when the sword was talking to him?
Oh.
That is a fair question, but no, because the last time Real interrupted with the rock, he specifically mentioned that he was not going to leave it on all the time now, because he felt bad that he was in your head while you were trying to sleep. So, in this case, you guys haven't engaged the Rocky Talkie yet. So, no, you don't hear that.
Okay.
You do notice everybody going over there though. You're still eating your food, and suddenly Tina gets up and Brunor's wandered over there and Rial's already there. Like, you look over, Divot's still like playing this awesome song, and this pink mist is all going around him. But yeah, Thoricus, you're like, all right.
Fuck, more breakfast for me.
Yeah, double breakfast.
So what did the blade say? You said it
To
talks.
me or
You said
him?
it- Oh, to Rial.
Me or him?
Rial, you said the blade speaks.
It does. It told me it's the greatest blade ever forged. Laughed about it for a while, and then won't tell me much else other than I should take it. So I came to investigate the statue. You all found your relics in the tombs of these other forms of ourselves. I had none except this statue. And it appears it may have been holding the same sword. I'd like to attune to it because I can sense that it has great power, but I'm fearful. I can't live this fate. This isn't me. And this blade brings me to a very big dilemma.
That sounds bogus. That sounds pretty bogus, brother. I'm really sorry that you have to deal with that now.
Pretty bogus. Pretty bogus.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So
breakfast.
I ask you. What does everyone think? What's our role with our fates? I want to gesture to the sign.
All I know is that I wish to protect our group the best that we can, and I know that we want. I need to forge on and find this dragon's den so that we can find something to protect us with, you know? But what are we all thinking? What do we want to do? Do we want to?
I agree. We need to make sure we protect our group. And I look at Rial and I say, everybody in our group, we have to protect all of us.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
That a chill runs down my spine because I'm beginning to not trust Rial again. But the good of the group always. And I make eye contact with Rial, and I say, the good of the group always, Rial.
The good of the group.
Yeah, can we go get Divot's hat though? Because I feel like he needs to get something out of this deal.
yeah, I'm just walking towards the platform over here.
So, we're still like in like short rest mode? Because if we have that hour, I want to try to attune to it, and I want to let everyone know firsthand. Like this, I'm gonna try and focus in on the power of this blade, but I know it's cursed. So, eyes open in about an hour, please.
Yes, we're all cursed.
I got your back. We'll figure it out, right?
Yeah, I mean, no
Good
consequence.
for the group.
Yeah, no consequences. That's our motto.
We
There are
don't
consequences,
I
but-
mean,
On this one.
Is there anything that we want? Aren't we gonna see some? We're on our way to like druids, right? Wouldn't they help with anything if we could look into this deeper before you attune to it? Bruner gets this like weird feeling in her stomach, and she just kind of sees everybody agreeing, like go ahead, but she's like, hold on a second, because she's held the blade. She has felt this every time she held on to it. There's this like jealousy feeling. And so she's just like, wait, Rial. I just feel like when I gave you the scroll of Identify, did you learn more about it?
I did. I learned a lot more about it.
What did you learn? My goodness.
I think she's just jealous.
Thoricus, please, what did you learn?
Still eating.
Are you enjoying that, by the way?
Oh, it's
You want-
fantastic.
Okay, good.
It's fantastic. Thank you.
I got
That's
some
all.
rose petals.
How good is it?
Roll it
Tina,
if you want
roll me a d20. Let's see how good this meal was.
Okay.
Oh man, come
You
on.
lying?
I'm curious.
Are you lying? You lied to me.
You lied to me.
You lied.
I mean, it's no dragon penis, but
I just want to see if Thorcus has to lie to you. Be like, yeah, no, it's the best one you ever made. It's great. Oh, 18. Heck yeah.
Delicious. It's delicious.
oh,
Oh, it was the molliest mole egg you've ever had.
So good.
Mole eggs. That's what I'm gonna say. If anybody gets a 0, I'm gonna be like mole egg.
Mole egg.
Mole egg.
All right, so yeah, Rial, in this moment, you kind of like, this is like a strange moment. Like at first, when everybody kind of agreed to let you attune to this, you felt this like overwhelming joy. Like, yes, great. Like everybody thinks this is the way to go. I should attune to this. It's very powerful, and I should be the one to wield it. Not thoughts that are common in your mind. And then as soon as Brunor was like, wait a minute, it was like suddenly they're trying to take it away from you. And, I'm not playing your character, but this is the feeling you have within your chest. Is like as Brunor attempts to you notice that suddenly your first instinct is to almost push her away. And then you catch yourself and you're like, oh, well, that's not normal. And so you yourself kind of like notice Brunor, who just stood for you and, in the eyes of the group. Her trepidation, it certainly reaches through to you in this moment as you kind of like feel the powerful hum of magic from the blade, kind of pull your hand away from it a little bit.
Well, I just wanted to say that I was also on board with that. I was like, yeah, no consequences, yeah, but honestly, on this one, bud, I would maybe hold off until we know a little bit more before you start attuning to it. And I got a bad feeling. Got some bad juju. Maybe just wait. Don't give it to me. I don't want it.
I'm just
I saw
saying,
the flash of
I
green.
held the.
Oh, I'm sorry, go.
No, it's okay. I'm just saying I've held the blade, and it is a lot. But it is a lot that I didn't know how to explain, and I don't know what you learned of it. But I do know that maybe we should just hold off. I want to be able to have your back, and I just don't think right now, when we have another thing that we have to do, I don't know if that's like the right path. I don't want to tell you what to do, my brother, but I've got your back, this isn't very tactical, I don't feel.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I am gonna tell you what to do. We're doing that, so.
That's not the Rial that we know.
Exactly. Come on, bud. You're better than that.
And I didn't hear any of this because I'm just walking towards that.
Yeah, Divot, you walk away. You end your song of rest. You feel really good, invigorated. Strangely, again, your bardic magic in particularly, where that mantle of inspiration and your song of rest all come from, the root of your power. You've noticed the connection to this strange fey mist that floats around this island now. That only changed to that pink mist after the miracle performed by Tina. So, but yeah, you kind of walk over to it, and again, you've kind of gotten used to it now. You can glide on it, like when you ice skate above the crowd during your magic performances. You have with no lack of flair, any ability to make it, carry you across the path. And it lands you on the steps that lead up, these 15-foot, cut ivory steps that lead to this pillar that you've been on a few times. You walk up, and as your feet step on that center circle, where once the beholder zombie floated, before you guys smote it.
Yeah. I'm positioning myself in the most dramatic place in the room.
Dead center, like you did before. You find the center point of this pillar. As you step on that internal circle, you see one of the 5 green circles begins glowing at your feet. Same one that activated the last time you stood on this pillar. So I
yelled at everybody. I'm like, "Hey, gang, come here. I want to talk to you about something."
All right.
I wonder what it is.
Dorcas, you eat the last of your mole eggs, the last of everybody's mole eggs. You put them all into one big dish together and walking over.
One left.
Can I hang back with Rial for a second? While everyone else walks over. I just want to stop him and pull him aside and say, hey, I didn't want to tell you what to do back there. Not at all. If you want to attune with that, you can. I just got a weird feeling from it, and don't want to have you go through those same feelings. I feel like I want to protect you, but I also don't want to tell you what to do. I'm in like a weird position.
Not at all. This is why I asked instead of did. I had my own doubts. And you're my, other than the summoner, you're my oldest colleague. Between you and Thoricus, my best friend, I know your judgment, and I take that to heart. So I'm just gonna sheath it. I'm not gonna get rid of it, I'm gonna keep it, but I'm not attuning to it.
Don't just throw away the super magic.
Not just gonna throw it away.
Yeah, no, I mean, don't.
Hey, Necromancer, hold this
Chuck
for
it in
me.
the trash.
Happy birthday to the ground.
Happy birthday to the ground.
Throws it away. My dad.
My dad's not a talking sword, duh.
It's a wish, yeah.
I am so sorry for that. That was great.
All right, then then when we start making our way up, I'm gonna like put my arm around like Josh with him. I'm gonna Josh him the whole way.
Roll
And
for
I'm gonna turn around
joshing.
and be like,
Do I detect joshing?
Yeah.
Now we're
Oh.
going up and we're gonna Josh with Tina.
Yeah, Brunor, go ahead and give me a joshing with advantage because you have Tina. So roll 2d20 here for the joshing. Let's see how efficiently. Oh, what? Oh, yes.
20.
Yes, the 20 is, that's successfully jovial. You see the joshing happens. Again, the pink mist of Divott's performance kind of makes you all a little giggly. And again, you keep going from like one high stakes crazy thing to another. And in these moments of like, oh, we should probably go do the other epic thing, right? There is like a moment where you guys can't help but remember being normal people in a normal world. And now you're like these like artifact wielding, warriors of legend that literally songs have been writ for. So, it is kind of a funny moment that you guys have, and you josh, and there's a little Jakin.
All the way on the other.
It wasn't a crit, but it was a 20. So, and I want to smoke for Josh.
Yes, absolutely. The pink mist.
Finally get to
Can't make that
talk
shit
back
up.
with you guys.
Yeah.
Sorry, that looked so dark and horrible, but you guys make me good. I love you guys.
Yeah, we love you.
All right.
I want our Josh to roll through and take on Thoricus as well, and then we just keep joshing our way, including Brian, because Brian loves a good Josh about. I
Oh,
wanna
Brian
Josh all the way to the
loves a
platform.
good Josh. You see, Brian takes the Josh to the third dimension by flying around, carried by your laughter as he kind of weaves through the jovialness of the party. I don't know if that's a word, but we're using it. And yeah, begins to just embrace the fun of the group. And again, not quite the unintelligent creature that he was before. You see him seemingly almost in on the joke. Even he's like, oh man, what's next, right? And you're all just kind of walking your way across. Thoricus, how does the joshing affect you?
Do I have to roll for something?
I'm just interested to see how Thoricus engages with the joshing. You can make a saving throw against the joshing if you want. If Thoricus doesn't want to be like, ha ha ha, but it's too strong. Yeah, I'll give you a save versus joshing.
You know what though? No, because we
Let it fail.
we had a really good moment. I mean, we're all feeling each other. We got each other's backs. My boy, said no to drugs, said yes to weed, and
Hell yeah.
I'm so proud of him. So yes, I will get in on the joshing.
Yes.
God.
Maximum joshing.
I want to give Thoricus a noogie.
You noogie. You guys it's a traveling Josh circus, and you're all performers. You see everybody gets in bits of their best joshing. As you
Our roads all lead to Divot. He's on the Josh train. We're coming for him.
you see the master of joshing himself, bidding you up the ivory steps as the pink mist kind of helps lift you all up. Bruno, you're the only one. You have no idea about any of this. This is your first time even over here. Remember, you dealt with the roper and you stayed on the other side of the room. So everybody else is seemingly unimpressed by this. But as you walk up onto the circle platform, You see as each person that steps up when their feet touches, one of these different green circles illuminates. And there's 5 of them. And so yeah, you kind of step up and you put one foot down and you see the 5th, green stone illuminate. You're all kind of sitting there, all 5 green circles. And suddenly, you hear... And the platform that you're on begins rotating. You're all kind of looking at each other as the background of the purified garden is like whirring very slowly around you guys. Each of you making eye contact with the other one, guard at the ready, always ready for some great beast or creature or magic trick. And so you're looking around and the platform just slowly makes one full revolution. A little bit of dust poofs up. You feel the pillar beneath you start receding into the earth even more. As the circular, 20-foot circular platform that you stand on, each with the 5 glowing green circles at your feet, starts going down within the recess of the earth. And as the pillar starts going down, you see the pink mist that was surrounding you starts spilling over the top and into the circle above you. And as you go down, it's like this pink, misty waterfall that seemingly floats at the same speed as you do. As you kind of start, as the purified garden disappears, as your heads kind of go underground, you see stone-carved walls. You're looking around above you, pink mist, the gray silver slate walls as you seemingly go down this long, twisting corridor. Is there anything? Go ahead.
Is Brian still on the side, or is
Brian's with you? Brian is with you guys. Okay. He's standing on the platform. Okay. It was just, it was a lot to put around there. I just wanted you to be able to see that real quick. But yes, that is, Brian's just looking around kind of nervously, although at the same time he's looking up like, man, I could fly out of here. So yeah, it's just, the spinning spiral. It's been over a minute now, and you feel like you're still just going lower and lower within the earth. As the air starts to get a little harder to breathe as you get a little lower and under the ground, and it's just you're kind of looking around. It's not menacing or anything, but it's just like the mood is changing, and you look up, and again, just these billowing clouds of pink mist just falling down like the sand of an hourglass above you, but all stopping before it hits you. You feel the pillar set. The stone in front of you splits, a seamless cut in the rock opens up, and there's this long corridor. Green moss-covered stones that cover the ground. Every 2 or 3 feet, some random rotting skeleton corpse of some beast from eons past. You see skulls littering the ground on these weird, muddy green walking stones that pave the way up toward this big sprawling canvas tent looking wall that you see at the end of this corridor. You can kind of make out, it's about 50 feet down. You can kind of see at the end of this corridor, there's this strange tattered orange carpet that's leading toward the canvas tent area. But you're just kind of standing at the end, there's a little bright light at the end, but you're just standing in this long, 50-foot long corridor. Everything stops moving.
Badass.
Let that stop. I get motion sick. So.
You want to go get that hat?
Hell yeah. And I start walking towards the carpet.
Start walking down this corridor. The lighting in the hallway not as good as it is. It's clearly a bright light source at the end of the corridor. But in the corridor itself, you just hear the kind of cluttering skitters of skeleton bones and shattering skulls as your heavy boots just kind of walk down this path. You can smell there's a little bit of death in the air. And honestly, Divot, it's tickling all your mischief. All that, that feeling that's gotten you into trouble a bunch of times in your life, when you're should I do the thing or should I just call it a night? It's like that that little thrill seeker in you, the guy that would rather, jump out the window than walk down the stairs. You feel that kind of tickling sensation as you look behind you, and as you walk, that pink mist seems to be following you down the corridor as well. Just softly billowing. So, go ahead.
I step off my platform and follow Divot down the hall.
You guys, kind of, same thing, Tina. Your heavy armor, you kind of splinter the bones beneath your feet. The armor you wear is so heavy that it actually just like shatters. You step on something and you just feel it give way under your foot. And then the smell of rot and ichor in your nose. It's just, this place doesn't feel right at all. But, it's not nearly the craziest place you guys have ever been either. So, there's not like spinning blades in the walls and lava and all that. So, but again, there's a strange tickle that even you feel, the former trickster cleric. Again, you're now your beloved is now Chantilly, though that you serve, but you remember that thrill ride on the road and some of those, late nights where you swindled somebody out of a couple pieces of coin by, convincing him you were going to meet him in the back room and then paying somebody to rough him up and just, some of the more devious things you did to make it in your life on the road. And you too kind of feel like a strange, very, at this point, unfamiliar tickle on the hairs on your arm, as you're just like, There's just a little feeling of mischief in the air. All right, so you guys continue on down this corridor, and basically it finally opens up, and you see these gray slated walls are actually seemingly the outside structures of these massive ancient ruins that seem to be buried underground, like completely. And none of you guys have even heard of any city that was supposed to be in this region of any note. But you see in front of you just these jetting high walls with cutouts and stuff from old pathways and traffic routes from an old civilization, long since decrepit. And they all kind of build up around this one center region. And I'm gonna bring you over there real quick.
Oh shit.
Are we time traveling?
Whoa!
So, you kind of get near the end of this corridor, and you see, as the light kind of fills up the area in this recess within these tall, looming buildings, this strange canvas tent, which all these symbols and totems all scattered around with various fragrances and candles burning. You see great skeletons of dragons and, more identifiable insane beasts, things that look like dinosaurs, and even, if you'll notice right here, a giant crocodile that seems to have dragon wings. But yes, these strange skeletons just like litter the floor all around you. And you watch as this orange tattered rug basically splits into pieces and leads to this small stone pedestal on which sits the hag. This old woman in these long, tattered brown robes, silvery tangles of hair wither over her face, and she has this kind of like long, drooping look on her face. Her nose hangs inches off her face and has this massive, hideous wart on it. You see her face is curled, withered, and old. Her smile is like a twisted, sinister look, and you see her finger is holding out the hat of the Jester. You see her make eye contact with you, Divot, you the first one to walk through the corridor. And as her eyes lock with yours, a great smile spreads her face. Oh, looking for this?
I stop and look at the rest of the group, and I lick my fingertips like this, and fix my facial hair real quick. And I look at them and I'm like, all right, this is worth a shot. And I turn around and look at her and I'm like, hey, beautiful.
Yeah, give me a charisma check, Divot. You trying to what's up, girl, this hag?
I don't think she hates me.
Well, let's see. With a 19. Very nice. So, Divot, yeah, you see she, she's not firing any magic bolts at you or anything. She looks up. You see her, the hair kind of scattered over her face, her wild, dark, pointed eyes kind of staring at the hat. Oh, Divot, I know what you want. But it is Real I have business with. Then she takes the Jester's hat and just throws it behind her on the ground. Just complete disrespect for this item. This, glorious, artifact. Throws it behind her on the ground. And she leans forward, and you hear the creaking of her bones, and you see her skin sag on her face a little bit as she leans forward. Real, it has been a long time.
Who are you?
Still confused. Lots of details, not enough answers. You could call me your mother, Real. For it was me that made you. Oh, so foolish. So simple.
Whoa! 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 Whoa!
Sorry, I hit on your mom, man.
I know her.
What?
That was when I was on my dream date with. She was our waitress.
You had sex with his mom?
I knew that I remembered her from somewhere. She was in my dream that I told you guys about.
Yeah,
She ruined my date. I mean, it wasn't a date. We're just friends, but we were both hungry, so.
Might as well eat together.
Hello, Real's mother. I am Bruno, this is Serpent. I just start walking towards her. Hello, it's nice to meet you. I am Bruno, this is Serpent. I am a friend of yours.
She lets you approach. You see, she doesn't stop you, and in fact, she twists herself down and leans a little bit more forward in her chair, and her smile grows as you walk forward. Oh, yes, dear, allow me to introduce myself, Aunty Agatha Frogwart, dear. And you see she reaches out, and her hand is covered in, hairy warts. And her, sagging skin hand reaches out, her nails stick out 1.5 inches, and she just reaches her, putrid hand out to you as this, toothy, rotting teeth smile looks down at you. Oh, hello, dear.
I kneel, as I would, because I'm meeting somebody very new. I kneel, and I kind of very gently, underneath, treat her much with respect, and I kind of barely touch and just kneel down. So it's so nice to meet you.
You see she kind of reaches her hand down, and Bruno, make a charisma save.
Hell yeah. Let's see what happens. Where are you, Charisma? You are over here. Bam! Oh, well.
All right, so you see she reaches her, long fingernails and saggy wart hand down, and as she touches your hand, you see that little pink mist. And you kind of watch it go. And you breathe it in through your nose. And then you see she goes, turn around, girl. And she's charmed you. So she's gently requesting your friend, your now best friend. You love this woman. You have tons of stories with her. You guys have known each other forever. And so she's gently requesting for you to turn around right now. And yeah, she has you charmed. You don't necessarily have to, but she's your friend. She wants you to turn around real quick.
Cool. You just, turn. Hell yeah.
So you turn around, and then you see she kind of leans forward even more. And it seems like her spine stretches, the top part of her body elongates a little bit. As she kind of puts her head down next to yours, Brunor. The rest of you look as her long wrinkled face appears next to Brunor's. Your friends seem confused, dear. See, I made Real, but I did not birth Real. Magic birthed Real. Real isn't real. There never was a Real. And and he doesn't know. And you see she just puts her fingers down and she's so tickled by just the sick, twisted ironies that she's privy to that you seem not to be. But enough of that. And she waves her hand. Bruno, you're no longer charmed. Why come you here? For your trinket, your toy. So she looks back at the Jester's hat, spits this nasty loogie over at it. You see her breath so pungent, Bruno, that it kind of smacks you in the face a little bit. Woof, like, What brings you to Aunty Agatha Frogwart? Having bad dreams? And she looks at you, Thoricus, and continues to laugh.
Dude, if that's not your mom, I am going to tell her to shut the fuck up. Is that your mom?
I don't believe that's my mom. No, you're not my mom, are you? What do you mean you made me? What are you talking about here?
I don't even know.
Now, you see she ponders for a moment. What is a mother, Rial? What qualities does a mother possess? 'Cause although I am not, I may be.
That wasn't even an answer. What was it?
I don't know, it's been pretty cryptic on my end too, you know what I'm saying? It's pretty spooky. Things are pretty spooky over here. So, like, what? Listen.
Yeah.
Then,
what was going on with you for a second there? What was that all about?
you know, just terrible things I need to digest for just a moment. Yeah, because she said all this just to me, right? Like, she didn't say anything. Like, her stuff couldn't be heard elsewhere.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Cool. Just double checking with that. Yep. Cool. Yep.
I'm walking to get the hat while this is happening.
All right, so as you start walking up, Divot, you see she kind of like, puts her finger out to you, Divot. You have caused quite a bit of trouble, Lightning Dodger.
I would never.
Something, concerning a sundial. Perhaps you're familiar.
No.
That wasn't him.
Made someone angry, you did. Ooh, powerful, very powerful. But she is letting you, like, continue if you want to, like, go grab the Jester's hat. She's not stopping you.
Yes, I would like to.
Interested in your toy.
I'm staring at Rial this whole time.
Yeah, my blood is like boiling at this time because I just recommitted to the group. I just said to myself that I wasn't gonna be suspicious of Rial anymore, and now this happens again. So I've made eye contact with Rial and I'm frozen. I'm not saying anything. I'm just staring right at him.
Divot, as you kind of walk around behind her, you see, do what you will, she says. Kill me. I have shown you all my tricks. Ask what you will. Take what you will. Plunder me. Eat the bones. My leftovers. I have no power left.
But what? You can see Bruno's trying to add up the entire history in her head, like.
We could probably ask her stuff. She probably knows something that we don't. And she said she has no more power, and if she does, then I will deal with that.
Agatha Christie, if he's not real, then how do we josh about what? How
I'm
you
not
can't
real.
just
What?
hold on, 1 second, Rial. If you listen, you don't understand. If like, how do we josh about? You can't just like look at him, and I walk over to Rial and I start to like jostle him, and I'm like, look at him, look at him.
I give him test josh. I give him one little test josh to see if it works. And
Yeah.
he joshes back, right?
Josh, it's true. He does. He responds in Josh.
Explain that. Well, do you know what I know? I look at Tina like, wait, do you know what I know? Do you know what I know? What do you know?
know?
What do you? Well, what? I'm like clearly so confused now.
Do
Like,
you know?
wait. How do you? But how do you know? And then I point at the hag.
Mhm.
And how do you know for sure?
I don't.
I was there. I taught him the ritual.
Him who?
And then suddenly the smile fades from her face. Rial, she locks eyes directly with you. Ergon. It was I that taught him the magics. 7 years he tested on that body, on that boy. It wasn't until he found my magics, my fractination ritual, that he was able to remove the goodness from himself. But what to do with what was left? I think we did a good job. She gestures to Rial.
So you're saying that Rial is the goodness from
Synthesis.
Ergon? Synthesis.
No, Ergon is the bad of synthesis, and I think that's what I'm picking up. Anyone else feeling that? Like Ergon's the bad part of what synthesis was, and Rial's like the good part of what he
That's why
was.
he's so good at joshing.
He's so good.
He got all the Josh.
I mean,
I
buddy,
need
you're
it. I need
crushing
it.
it.
Joshing.
Wait, so no. Well, what if it's Ergon and so you're saying Ergon and Rial, not synthesis and Rial?
I'm
Because
Ergon and Rial.
she said she gave it to Ergon. Him? Ergon. She said she gave it to Ergon. So Ergon was the first.
Taught it ritual.
Right, so then he split.
I look at the hag and I'm like, can you just explain this real
Yeah,
quick?
you know what? Save some time.
Oh, foolish mortals, of course. Synthesis was a man, a normal man, a corruptible man. But in order to be corrupted, you must have goodness. To break the cycle, the Shekinah prophecy, he must remove that from himself. So Synthesis of House Othravan was tormented by the mad wizard Ergon for 7 years until he got wise enough to ask for my help. It was my magics, Rial, that tore you from him. And we let that creature go in the woods. Rial, you suddenly think the first memory that you have that is not in the cell is you running through the woods, having no idea how you got out of your cell, how all the magic traps that had kept you imprisoned for so long could have failed. You know, you assumed maybe Kindly had helped you, or that in some fugue state you managed to work your way out. But as this laughter of this hag starts to echo in your mind, you start feeling that same beckoning laughter of Ergon. And as her twisted laughter is echoing in one part of your mind, his sinister. And you start feeling this great battle within your head. Your eyes roll back. The rest of you, it starts getting very cold. Aunty Agatha Frogwart continues. Divot, you made a mistake. You played with powers far beyond your grasp. The Queen is angry with you. Promised me freedom for your souls. And as she starts laughing, snowflakes start forming out of the pink mist around you. You see Rial's body starts shaking as this blue portal starts forming in front of him, just like the black portal from so long ago. You see this blue swirl of magic. And emanating from it is this icy blast of air. You feel these icy pinpricks of the cold air against your skin. You feel the strange feeling in your brain similar to the mad tea party, as your own sanity starts to splinter in this moment. Everything starts phasing in and out. You hear nothing but the building laughter of this crazy hag. Give you to Queen Mab I shall. And you're late to the party. She holds her hand out, and you see the blue sphere grows in size and fills the entire room. You feel as this surge of what feels like ice water covers your body, as this torrential force starts tearing at all the fibers in your being, the very atoms within your body. You start shaking vibrantly. Suddenly, this explosion of snowflakes shoots everywhere. There's a heavy wind. You feel, it blowing more snow against your face. You look down, you're about knee deep in this soft, really puffy kind of snow. Your boots fill with it instantly. You're looking around, and you're in the middle of this savage windstorm. You can barely make anything out. You put your hands up and look around. You don't see much. Suddenly, Brunor, you bump into something. And you turn around, the wind blowing your hair in your face. You kind of push away some of the snow in an instant. And you look up, and you see this 10-foot tall, round humanoid figure. And his skin is this dark brown colored, almost like the bread of ginger. And you see in the center of his eyes these burning, glowing red dots looking down on you. And you see in his right hand, he's holding a broken candy cane. Sharp jetting pieces of candy stick out, and he looks down at you menacingly. And that's where we're gonna pick up with our Christmas episode of Weed&d next week, guys.
Oh my god.
Oh, Santa.
She said she saw it coming from a mile away. Everybody always sees it coming from a mile away. Well, then you do it. No, oh, yes. Thank you guys for just always, the winter, we love you, obviously, winter has come. Thank you guys so much for hanging with us. That was a killer sesh. I cannot absolutely wait. We will be doing a fun little special sesh next week. It'll be after Christmas, but whatever, we'll just be having a good time and spreading that joy for sprinkling it for the next couple days. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. We freaking love you guys to death. Thanks for taking your valuable, wonderful time and spending it with us. Hopefully we were able to bring you a little bit of joy in this crazy chapter in our shared history. I love you guys to death. I love my cast. Just play D&D with you guys. The freaking best. We have a little ritual we like to do around here, guys. And we did our part. We did the D&D. The D&D was D and done. So now, we take a lighter like this one, hold it up in front of us, make sure we're being safe, and go. Lighters up. Thanks so much for playing D&D with us, guys. We frickin' love you, and we will see you next week for our holiday, Christmas, spooky, snowstormy, gingerbread man sesh of fantasticness.
Trademark.
Yep. You did.
Period.
We're about to be dicked.
TM.
Ooh.
Copy Rizzy. Ooh, name this. Don't forget to name this. Somebody give me names.
So what? You can't touch me, 'cause I'm from the internet.